right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Now I can hear you guys. All right, I'm showing up late this morning, so I have no idea what is going on. Actually, I saw something at 6 a.m., which I will share in a minute. But other than that, it's a holiday in Ontario right now, where I am. So change of routine. The kids are home. My wife is home. So went out for a motorcycle ride this morning. It's a beautiful, amazing morning. So not following the same routine as usual. Yeah. How you doing, people?
What kind of bike do you ride?
I have a Kawasaki Vulcan. It's a
Nice. What's the engine displacement?
It's a 900 cc. It's just a cruising bike. I go on the back roads and you know, I piss off other drivers because I drive the speed limit. I've got my my speakers in my helmet, listen to some tunes and just cruise along. Beautiful morning this morning. Yeah. So yeah, people are I'll often, if I know there's cars behind me, I'll often just pull off to the side and let people go on. You know, some people are commuting and but the back roads that I take, I think I probably saw 2 cars in an hour this morning. So
oh wow.
Yeah, no, it's great. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't looking at much this morning. I actually just turned my computer on 5 minutes before logging on here, and but from my phone, did this morning. Let me do a replay. Let's do a replay. So yeah, even though it's a holiday, it's up early. Saw this big gap down this morning. Yes, it gapped down from the tops here. So what I do, look to the left. There's definitely room to the left. Price got rejected over here, a little bit of a double top with a little bit of a higher top, but that's the way I like to trade them because I like to see that liquidity was taken out at the top and then there's a big drop, right? 5 minute fair value gap over here. There it is. But then the following drop was over here. And that was a big fair value gap. So I set the fib over here. And then I was watching. There you go. That's where it hit the bottom over here. And I did this from my phone. So you can see it's not very accurate. So now that I'm on the computer, I'll make it a little bit more accurate. I did not take this, but I was looking at it. I was actually trying from the phone just to go in with one contract. And it didn't. I wasn't going to click button and risk. I'm just, you know, getting used to using TradingView on my phone and iPad. But this is the pattern that I like to trade. I like to trade it short if it shows weakness below the 50. And that's where it went right up to the 61.8, but did not close above it, and then started selling below the 50. And I put in what did I take it out? A short would have looked like from here with the stop above the 61.8 and aiming for 3R. And there it is right there. So, you know, once it starts showing weakness below the 50, you know, that's the stop had you entered right at the 50. Had I entered a little bit lower, you know, with the stop still at the 61.8, right, still would have made it to 3. So that's what I like taking recently. Pre-market patterns work well. It's slow. It's not, you don't get these crazy candles. And speaking of crazy candles, yeah, once it hit target, we started finding buyers before the market opened. And now that the market is open, now we're dropping. So I do not plan on doing anything in the first half hour. Because of my change of routine, I will likely not do anything today. I'm going to be on here for an hour, and then after that, I'll shut it down, and I'll be back tomorrow pre-market to see what's going on. Yeah. So there you go. And that's my story for now. And what are you looking at, Evo, or anybody else?
Kind of the usuals. I'm just curious. Have a look at INTC. It hit a key level, and I think it gave you your kangaroo tail right at the open in the 5-minute chart. I'm just curious if that qualifies for your setup, but it's definitely at a key liquidity area. And I'm just curious if that would have been a setup you would have taken 5 minutes right at the open or not, if it met your criteria.
Okay, well, let's decompose it. That is absolutely a 5-minute kangaroo tail, as far as I'm concerned. Here's what I look at, and let's draw a little bit on it. There you go. I'm not going to write text on everything, but room to the left. There you go. So when I open up the chart, I want to see, does this take out liquidity to the left? And it does. And there's quite a lot of room to the left. We have to go back to Thursday, May 14th, after hours. So criteria number one, perfect. Excuse me. Criteria number two, is it at a level? And over here, I'd have to go on to the higher time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour, and let's see, is there something there? You know, I don't want to fabricate anything, but pretty much where it is right now, this was an indecision. We wicked into this, so this area here, and let's do a rectangle over here. Let's just go like this. So this area over here was rejected, and then we just blew past it. But then it was retested as support. And then we chopped around this area and then came down, and now we're retesting this area, right? So as far as level is concerned, yeah, I would consider this a resistance level. So we'll go back to the 5 and look at the actual candle. Is it a kangaroo tail candle? Well, it's a kangaroo tail in many respects, but as far as I'm concerned, there is one thing that I don't like about it. Well, two things, 3 things. It's right at the open. Right at the open, the first 5 minutes. I'm not a huge fan, but had the body of this candle been within the body of the previous candle, right? You can tell that it closed lower than the body of the previous candle. I don't like that. And the other thing is that it is a very large wick, so it's hard to short this. Let's go over here. So the short is on the break of the low. That is ideal. What we see here is that it printed the low, closed, and the next candle just sold off right away. So that is my entry criteria. So
you would have gotten in the moment it broke the low of that inverse.
If it met all my criteria, yes.
But you don't like the fact that the open price of that candle was lower than the previous red candle. You want a little bit of the body into the previous candle.
No, I'm okay with the open being within the previous candle. I would have liked the close to be also within the previous candle's range. I would accept the previous 5-minute candle here, right? But this, can I draw on here? Hang on a second. There you go. So I would prefer the candle to be, whoa, that is one big marker. Let's go over here and here. Let's do it red. So I would prefer the body of that candle to be within the range of the previous candle. And the other thing that I did not mention is that the tail should be 2/3 of the body of the candle. And that, so it meets many of my criteria. The body of the candle not being within the body, but it's a good sign because it closed below. I love the fact that it made a new low and just sold off from there.
And there was no southern wick either, very little.
Yeah, over here, so, yeah, it was just selling.
So right? I was like,
I also like that it is selling below R6, which is a resistance level. Well, like I said, there's 3 things. I don't like that it's the first 5 minutes. I don't like that the body of the candle is not within the previous one's body. And the size of the wick. The size of the wick is hard to take. So the conservative stop is above the wick. The aggressive stop is 50% of the wick. But considering we had gone over here, I might have put my stop just above the pre-market high here.
Yeah.
And then with that entry, you have to aim for 3. Well, 3 is way the heck out there, right?
I think the next liquidity level is right around 106.50.
Yeah.
At least that's what I drew on my chart, looking at the hourly chart.
Yeah,
that'd be a good target. And that probably would get you, even if you use the top of that tail, that for sure would get you a full 3-hour move.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so it's a good setup, and thanks for bringing it up. And
Yeah.
you know what, as far as setups are concerned, it's rare that you're going to get absolutely every one of your criteria met. This one is a very good. It's an A setup. It's not an A plus, as far as I'm concerned. What I have done in the past, and I have been successful on this, is I will use the expression of a famous trader. I would load the boat right here, right? I would absolutely load the boat with shares right here. As soon as you see that it is selling right here, it's a scalping maneuver, but you can absolutely load the boat here and scalp for a $1 move, a 50-cent move, because it is absolutely showing weakness. We liquidity swept, we closed, open the next candle, and then on the tape you probably would have seen it, or even as the candle is forming, you can tell that it's just dropping. So if you load the boat over here and you aim for something maybe R4, this is absolutely a good trade for that kind of setup, right? If I go like this, load the boat, therefore your stop is right above, right? Is it possible to get the 6R down here? Yeah, absolutely.
So if you were to load the boat, would you take your target at a certain position, and then how would you leave a certain percentage to run the length of the move?
Yeah.
Or would you exit out completely? I'm just curious how you would handle that if you added a bunch.
I do not trade like this anymore. As I was learning and testing out all kinds of different strategies, and you know, there are scalpers out there online that will do this. I tried it, had some success with it, especially with this setup, right? Because this is the setup that I see it obviously that this is wicking up. We cannot find buyers. We're just taking the stops out of here. We're getting into an area where it was potentially support and then flipped over to resistance and back and forth. So when I say loading the boat, I mean taking X amount of shares, whatever your risk is, and putting your stop right above. If it goes against you, you're out, right? So you get X, depending on your R value, you can put your stop. Maybe, you know, what was this? The low of this was 112.61. You could put it at your stop at 112, you know, maybe 20 cents away, 81. Right, so let's go. If this was your top level, 112, let's say 20 cents above the low of the previous candle, 112.81, and then just start taking profit. You know, start taking partials. This is not the type of strategy that I used to trade that I was aiming for the lows. This is, you know, it's a scalping strategy, and I don't like scalping. It's not my style. I've used it in the past. So it's just, you know, when you see the actual setup appear like it is right now, the kangaroo tail, it's closing low, closing red over here. And the next candle like this closed with no wick at the bottom. It closed at 112.61, and the previous candle's high is 112.64. So it went up 3 cents and just tanked. So this is, like I said, a scalping strategy. not what I like to trade right now. But I appreciate the questions, and hopefully, for some people, this is what they want to do. It depends on personality. It depends on what you want to do, what you see. But this kangaroo tail right here, rejection at the top, is a very high quality rejection strategy.
Yeah, I couldn't help but I saw it and I thought, oh, I got to ask you about this. This is your trade of trades. I think it looked like it. So nice to get your input.
Yeah, before I switched back over to futures, this was my highest probability trade. Right, this is, and at the bottom, basically the same thing at the bottom. If you see the liquidity sweep at a support level, you see this inverse of this candle here, therefore like a hammer way at the bottom, and a very strong green close, and the next candle just takes off from there. It's a very high probability scalping technique.
Look, it's continuing on.
Yeah.
If you look at the 5-minute chart, if you have simple moving averages on your 5-minute chart, right now it's just below the 50. And the next target would be about 107.55. That'd be the 200. And that's just above that liquidity zone around 106.50. So we'll see.
Yeah. It chopped in a range on Friday. So this was a pretty tight range, and then pre-market we broke out above it. Right, there was no retest. Right, had this been the retest over here, this might have been a continuation long. Right,
yeah.
Pre-market we broke out of the previous day's range, yesterday's high here. We broke out of it, and then this might have been an area to load the boat for the continuation long. Right, but it did not show support at R4 at all. So if I were in this trade right here, I would not be partialing out, or I would not have partialed out when we broke down below R4, because this is definitely showing weakness right now. Yeah, I'm assuming the rest of the market is doing something similar. Well, MES, what does SPY look like?
They kind of a big sell-off the first 15 minutes. I have a feeling that was kind of like an emotional candle. I wonder if it's going to bounce back now.
Yeah.
Kind of an ABCD pattern on the 15-minute chart that I'm seeing, but
and as far as the kangaroo tail here, since I've been back in futures, I do not see that candle set up often. This one on Friday was another really good example of that type of candle. Again, it's not perfect. The body of this candle is not within the previous bodies. It closed green, which means it closed in the higher range. But I had this area here, I had printed it in the morning, right? And that's where we rejected. And from there, we came down. And look at what I did here. Once we started selling, right, 5-minute fair value gap, I said here, I'll redo it. There we go. So once I spotted this on Friday afternoon, obvious selling, started selling and rejecting at the tops here. It came down to this candle right here, and look at where the top of the candle is. It's right at the 50. But where it really started reversing was over here. We printed a big green candle. So extend the fib. Sell. Stop. Target. 2 candles. But if you don't have it, that's my strategy. Other people might say, you know what, this happens often enough that why don't I stay involved, right? Why don't you stay involved for 12 hours? Right? So this is a very strong strategy. It works very, very well. Here, let me show you something else. Right? So I started up here, came down, retraced. This was the 50 of my previous. I took it off because I don't like having too many drawings. But this is where we pulled up, and then started selling from there. Okay, well, draw a fib from there, right? And where was the low? Right here. Move it over, back in. Didn't make it to the 50, but very darn close. Then sold off again. So there you go. I don't know if anybody else is looking at anything. Like I said, I haven't even looked at anything this morning. So stay on the 5-minute. Started selling off. Here's an example of a big sell-off in the morning. Right? And I can tell it wouldn't have worked. So let's just draw in anyway. You know, I don't just pick and choose the ones that work. Right? This is where I would have drawn a fib. And it came up to the 50, but then just taken off. Right? So this is one, had I done it, first of all, I wouldn't have done it because I do not like these massive big candles in the first 15 minutes. I do not trust the system in the first half hour. I've said it many times. And if you're doing it through market orders and looking at the 2-minute, it wicked in, but then there's no entry, right? It's not rejecting this area. It's just screaming right through it. And how strong it is right now, and how we're printing big green fair value gaps here. There was somewhat of room to the left here. We had been there in the morning, and it was support. You could draw the fib from the bottom, going up to where you think it might reverse, right? Where you think it might reverse right now, but you need to stop the fib where it does show weakness. And again, this would not be the perfect setup because for me, it's just inside the first range right now. Right? This works better when we make it out of the initial range here. So right now, this might go to the top and it just might chop inside of here for a bit. Gold. Gold was strong over here, but then just choppy up and down. This right here, I see it right there. Right, this is where we started buying, pretty much right here. We reversed right here. Right, came down, chopped into the 50, and then took off. Right, once it showed strength above the 50, had this been right at the bottom here. But where we really started buying was over here. But I don't like that there's where we are right now. There's no room to the left. Right? We had been here. This is a choppy mess. Don't like anything there. That was Friday. We're selling on here. We're selling in oil. So where do we start selling? Right here. Where do we start buying? Right here. Where did it go into? Went into the 50 or the golden zone and rejected from there. Here we go. And then from there, it came down. Where did it go to? Probably around the 50. Right? Started selling from here. Made a new low over here. Where did it go into? M2K is on some crazy reactive price action today. Is that what we were just... yeah, that's what I was just looking at as an example of a fib that would not have worked. Yeah, huge V reversal over here into this tiny little fair value gap from pre-market. So just from what I'm seeing right now in N2K, I would stay away from this. Personally, right? Everything I always say is according to my rules and what it is that I like looking at. Everybody's different. Roblox up 8.5%. Why is Roblox going? Roblox, wow. Just for my students, when you see stuff like this in pre-market,
wow.
This garbage volume, right? garbage. There's no way I would take a trade in anything like this. It just shows that we can't even close full candles, right? There's no trade. But then something, I don't know if there's news or something on social media, it's just taken off, right? It's almost 10%. So that's incredible, right? Roblox, I've traded this before.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
maybe I'll kind of watch that and see if there's a pullback, maybe on a longer time frame, like a 15-minute time frame. Because right now it's just like a rocket, so just let it be.
Yeah, this has to be news. 2 days ago, 6 days ago, 6 days ago. It doesn't seem to be anything recent. Excuse me. But look at these candles too.
Goes both ways.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, from 56 to the bottom of that candle at 40, right? What is that as far as right? That's right there. What is it? A 30% drop. Right? In one 4-hour candle. This to me just points to stay away. Yeah. Cerebras, their IPO. This is often what we see with IPOs. All the rich people that got shares at the 185 value. Let's get this away. You know, they sold. Impossible to short this stuff, by the way, because there's no shares to short, and it's pulling back. So it'll be interesting to see where eventually this will find a support level where price finds a value area. But for now, there just doesn't seem to be much going on.
Check out the 15-minute on the SPY and the Q, especially the SPY. It's engulfing right now. And the volume is almost what the prior candle was.
Yeah, we had a big drop Friday pre-market, Friday 4 a.m. And chopped around, came down pre-market over here, possibly support in this area here where we had dipped down and started buying from there. So if I were to put a level right around here, right, so it might have found support. We did not close one 15-minute candle below this, and then just as now it's taken off.
These seem to be news-driven moves. I'd just be careful because we've not reversed the trend from Friday's direction, and we are pretty much heading into all of that passive liquidity out there. So if you're trying to go long, you've got a lot of noise to get through there.
Yep. Yeah, no, if I were to draw a fib from where we really started selling Friday pre-market, we're just approaching the golden zone for the reload down, right? And if I were to start at where we really started selling up here, right? That's where we closed on Thursday post-market. And then Friday morning open down. Where did the selling start? Well, it started where this price was rejected. If you draw this large fib from where we started buying this morning, we're just approaching the 50 right now. Right? So this, for anybody going long, be careful. As Hamza just said, we're getting into an area of selling from Friday. So,
and those levels correspond with the simple moving 200 averages on the 15-minute chart as well. So definitely resistance there. That's a good point out, Hamza.
Yeah, as well as those of you who follow the CAN levels, R4. If we open below R4, especially in the lower range, and we come and hit R4, this is a strong selling signal. And where did we go to? These Camarilla levels are not absolutely perfect, but I just like having them on my screen. Sometimes I take them off, but it went right into pre-market high, right? And R4, right? Hit it, And this with no wick to the top, right?
At the moment,
At
there's
the
a bit
moment,
too
wait,
much volatility for me. This looks like a really good day for scalpers, though,
yeah,
because like the intra-bar ranges are really nice and big. So if you're on like a 1 minute or a 5 minute, you could get move after move.
yeah. Yeah, that's why with the Q's doing similar price action. Right, level of support were yesterday low on the 15-minute. Did not close below. So pre-market low, did not close below, and just took off from there, but right within the choppy mess of last week. This area over here. So yeah, nothing for me there. Roblox, what's that doing there? Don't remember what I had up here. MES Gold, MCL. Maybe I opened up a new one. There you go. I like having MNQ, MES Gold, MCL. What's Bitcoin doing?
76.8.
This was a few days ago. Am I on the 5? Yeah, a few days ago. When was it? Friday the 15th. Yeah, we had put this in pre-market on Friday, and it hit that higher support level. And then during the day, I don't know if you remember, this was put in Friday morning. And then from there, it did find support and made new highs. So along from here with, I don't know what the entry would have been here, but let's just say over here, yeah, it made new heights. But this higher time frame support was rejected later on. This was oh yeah, it's trades. Bitcoin trades. Does it trade 24/7? Can somebody, one of you Bitcoiners out there? Anyway, came back down, dropped through that higher time frame support, did not give a retest of that area, and just dropped from there.
I think spot Bitcoin does trade 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't think the futures do though.
Yeah, and this is the actual coin, right? It's not this is not what I usually have up here. This is what the futures is what I look at. Yeah. There are the futures from for Bitcoin, which I don't trade. I don't plan on it. Silver, whenever I see, fair value gaps and then a pullback, let's draw the fibs where we started buying, where we reversed right here. This would have been an entry for the long at 7:30 this morning, right? This is where, I don't know if you guys are, if you can see it properly when I do it like that. There you go. Probably zoom in is a little bit better. I do not like the candles on this. I just, right, this candle closed right here, 76.80, but the next candle opened at 76.94. And look at these over here. Right? I like seeing overlapping candles. Whenever I see big gaps like that, it means big spreads, and for me, it's untradeable. All right, now we're selling at the top. In a lower range, R3 is a sell zone, and the target is S3. Right, according to Camarilla rules. But you know what? I'm not going to have that on my screen. I'm not used to trading that. Yeah, it's Monday morning. We don't know who's in charge. We don't know who buyers or sellers right now. Started selling here on MNQ. All right, we've got a big 5-minute fair value gap here. Started selling right around here. Previous candle, where did we reverse? We reversed right here, you know, before this green candle printed here. So I'll move it aside. Went back in right into the golden zone and rejected. Right, if you can find an entry in here below the 50, possible to try to. Again, I don't like that we're just within the first hour's range here. And had it been a limit entry over here, we would have been stopped out at the 61.8. It made it up to around the 70% and then dropped from there. And they're big candles, right? It's hard to put a stop on these massive candles here. I prefer to trade when we've got smaller candles like this. MES, wow, a choppy mess. I see nothing. Tesla, that's another, right? That's another rejection candle right here. Took out pre-market high liquidity, right? And then just sold off. There's no entry for me on this, but scalpers that are trading the 1 minute, I might look at this and say, okay, this is a bearish candle. It came out, took liquidity, closed red, entry on a new low, stop above, aim for whatever. It's below R3, so those of you who follow the cam levels, it is a short below R3 is sometimes advisable. But I don't trade the 1 minute time frame. I might find entries on the 1 minute, but I like it during intraday. I like the 5 minute. What am I on here? Still on Tesla. Started selling over here. I like putting the fib on, seeing, okay, we're inside the golden zone. Right, we might be selling in here. So if the sellers are in charge, they pushed it down, they might reload the boat over here and continue down. We'll look at this in a few minutes. INTC, that would have been a nice short. Let's see, with the Kangaroo Tail, what would we be at right now? 1.8, right, with a stop above the wick. Stop right above pre-market high, 2.4. All right, this one, 3, would have been just above or right at low of day, right at pre-market low.
I think it still has a downward movement possibility here. If you look at a longer time frame, we'll see.
Yeah.
If there's any signs of seller exhaustion,
Yeah.
any volume signals, but
yeah.
Right now it's kind of sandwiched between the simple moving averages and the 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
it has that going for it that it could head south. And I even wonder if it may test the pre-market low right around 102 and a quarter. I mean, that would be a much further target down, but
Are you looking at Intel?
yeah, Intel in the 5 minute chart.
My pre-market low is 106.
I see 102.25 right around. This would have been the after hours session from last night.
INTC wouldn't have been open last night. Right? It opened at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, no, on my charts here, May 17th, 5:45 local time. And that was the after hours session from yesterday. Because INTC is 24 hours tradable on at least on my platform.
Oh, okay.
24/5, yeah, EXTO eligible.
Oh, there you go. There's that's a first for us. Yeah. So what I'm looking at here, that causes a problem with anybody experienced with that?
Hey, Ivo.
Yeah,
You say it's 24/7.
I'm sorry, 24/5.
Okay, so overnight it's trading all the time.
Yeah, it started last night, Sunday night at on Pacific time, so I think that's around.
Have you ever traded during those hours?
Pardon me?
Have you taken a trade in the overnight session?
No, I don't trade overnight, but
Okay, I'm just wondering what the liquidity and the spreads and stuff are like.
And what platform are you using?
Schwab, Thinkorswim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing a while back that IBKR were going to start offering the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these tickers, like Tesla, AMD, Hood, Nvidia, the SPY, Roblox, what Gilles was just talking about, those are all 24/5 eligible on my platform. So
Okay.
usually if I can, Sunday night, I'll sort of peek in and see what the after hours are doing, which would be, I guess, the Asian session, and just see if I see anything noteworthy. But yeah, I don't trade after hours or pre-market.
Yeah, same here. Until the equities market starts offering market stops during extended hours, it's just too much to deal with because you can wake up and it's gap down and you've got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'd love to take maybe swing trades, but I just can't stomach that. So,
Yeah.
but are they going to do that? Or I've never heard of such a thing that they would allow stops in the after hours or pre-market.
I'm not sure. I don't think you can do unless you have like a centralized market structure the way futures do. Because I think with equities, you're dealing with a bunch of market makers who will hold inventory. I'm not sure the exact specifics of it, but yeah, I mean, from what I remember, as soon as sort of after hours kicks in, within 15 to 20 minutes, the spreads go really wide. So if you do want to close a position, you're going to get a pretty shocking fill.
Yeah. No bueno for me. So
No.
Yeah, it's something that never made sense to me because when you see the amount of volume that is supposedly being traded on these candles, even during say pre-market and after hours, yet the spreads are really wide.
yeah. I mean, like that low of INTC that I quoted at, if I'm in that 5-minute candle, it's 117,000 shares. So definitely, some liquidity there if you need to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm gonna have to try that kangaroo tail strategy, Jill, and maybe in sim. See if I can look at that sometime.
It's a quiet day in here today.
Yeah.
On the Nasdaq.
Oh, Tariq, you're here.
Yeah, I came in late, so you were talking, guys.
How's it going, Tadek?
Good. Everything's good. How was the weekend, guys?
Lovely over here. How about you, Hamza?
It was okay. Unfortunately, I was at a funeral since Friday, so
I'm sorry for your loss, man.
God
yeah,
bless.
it's my wife's cousin actually. 52. Yeah, died of cancer.
Oh,
No.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Gosh, no matter the age or the reason, it's always hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless you and your family. That must be a tough one.
Thank you. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's one of them things, I guess, as you get older, you end up going to more and more funerals. I don't remember going to any when I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Hey, we're missing Oliver today. Is he is it
He said he have something earlier this week, I think so.
okay, because Gilles mentioned I think there's is it a public holiday over there or something?
In Canada, it's Victoria Day. So banks and the Toronto stock market is closed today. Actually, I say Canada. I don't know if it's the entire country. I know that in my province of Ontario, it's a holiday today. So schools are out, banks are closed, etc.
Yeah.
There's a holiday coming up in the States, isn't there?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Again, right around the 25th.
So it's next week, isn't it?
It may be, yeah.
Yeah, next Monday is a holiday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, look at INTC. I'm telling you, I get a feeling this thing is going to head down to that target level. While you were away, I was saying, "Oh, I got to try your kangaroo strategy in sim." Yeah.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal strategy. I mean, anybody in there back test it, especially like for me, it's got to be on the 5, but it works on the 15. It works on the 30. Obviously your stops are going to be larger, but it's a strategy that works very, very often, especially on equities. On futures, I have not seen it as much. Look at this one over here, right? This tail right here, right? Came in. This is pre-market. I would not have taken this, but it's just to show what it looks like. Right? Just it dips down prior level. I like when it takes out a stop in a prior level. So the low of this candle here was 106.58. The low of this candle was 106.58. Right, so this was support over here, and this one did not take out the low, but it showed a lot of support, same as over here. Right, wicks down, tail is 2/3 or more of the entire candle. Right, this is very low volume stuff, but yeah, it happens often.
Yeah.
At the top, look at this one. Right at the top, took out liquidity. To the left, the only thing I don't like about this one, can you tell? About this candle right here?
It's not within the body of the previous candle?
It is, yeah. The body of it, right? The body of this candle, let's just draw on it. Right? The body of this candle is within the range of the previous candle, right? So this is almost perfect for me. And I might have taken it when I was trading equities. What am I on even? INTC has to be at a level. And this is a level of resistance that I had on there. This dotted line is from today, so just ignore it. It closed green.
Oh.
Right?
So you prefer it red, not green.
Well, if we're selling, right, I'd like it to close at the bottom, and I would like the next candle to open like this. That is ideal, A++ setup. But I would take this short over here, depending if I was looking at it. It is something that I might take, and then the short is on the break of a new low. If it prints a bunch of candles before it happens, I usually don't look at it, right? Because this is showing support here at this level. There's acceptance, right? We're consolidating over here. So I prefer, for an A+ setup, I prefer the candle to be red, this one to be red, and the following candle to be a selling candle.
Yeah.
If that were the case, then you enter, stop above the wick is conservative, 50% or just above 50%. If I were doing this and these candles had not printed, maybe you go above the high of day over here, previous high of day, and aim for 3 or whatever.
I got another question for you on that candle. So in your experience, when
I'll stay here. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, when you see that kangaroo tail candle and it prints green, do you often see in this case that you get maybe a period of consolidation for a few candles that it kind of hangs there, versus when you see it red, more than likely you're going to get a sell-off? I'm just curious in your experience.
Yep, that's exactly it.
And that's what makes you that maybe not consider that A+, because there's a chance we may get back up into that higher wick zone to retest that, and that may come closer to your stop and makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. I'm just sorry, I'm trying to open up something here, and I've got a bunch of windows on my, like I said, I just turned on my computer, so that's why I wanted to stop sharing here. Trade book, open that up. I will return to sharing my screen. Entire screen. This screen is number 2. Share. Is this what you're seeing? Yes, it is. And give me 1 second. I'll show you an image for my kangaroo tail.
What I like about these hammers and inverse hammers is that it, especially like at the top of the range, I mean, it really represents, because that hammer used to be a solid body. So it took a lot of energy and effort to wick that thing down. And conversely, at the bottom of a range, if you get a green hammer or even a red hammer at the bottom of a range, there used to be a big red candle, and some buyer went in there and bought it back up. So for me, I think it's the most powerful candlestick. Whenever I'm looking at sticks, I find the hammers and inverse hammers to be the most powerful symbols.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So this is Amazon. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is an image that I did on Amazon here. So we've got, this is the description of my kangaroo tail long. Right. So there it is right there. Right. There's room to the left. It is at a level of support. This was when I was using the 8 a.m. tinfoil hat candle for ranges, you know, what some people might call Avenacci levels. Yeah, it's at support. The body is within the range of the previous candle. Candle open and close are within the previous range of the previous candle. It closes green. Entry once we break the high. Stop loss for this one was a little bit more aggressive. It was at 50% of the candle. Stop loss could have been below the level over here, but look at where we retested again, right at the level. This is a trendy kangaroo, right? Once this prints, it is possible to bring your stop loss just below. On the way up to show strength, it's printing a fair value gap in direction of trade for conviction. Stop loss can be moved under the fair value gap. So now you're just above break even. And then you aim for 3R, 4R, whatever you're, when I was trading this system, I was aiming for the next level, right? Once you make it to this level and you break out above this level, then you're going to aim for the next one. And once we break out of that level, look at how it breaks out of it and then comes down and retests it and keeps moving up. So this is the kangaroo tail long. It's a bit of a description of what I look for.
Can you talk a little bit more about fair value gap real quick?
Yeah, it's just, I wish there was a button, and you guys are probably going to tell me that there is, but if I'm over here, you know, I want to zoom into where we are right now. Right? I want to zoom into current time right now in TradingView. I haven't Googled it or ChatGPT'd it. I don't know if there is a way, but you know, I'd like to be able to do that. Yeah, fair value gaps. I have them printed automatically on my chart, right? With this Lux Algo fair value gap over here. It's fantastic, but all it is, let me go to something else here. Here, let's go to Tesla. And I'll take out some of these drawings. Take this out, and like this. So let's go to a higher time frame. Actually, let's see what we've got here. Okay, there's one there. So this fair value gap from this candle over here to 2 candles over, right? From the low of this candle to the top of this candle right here. There's a red fair value gap. I don't know who coined the phrase of fair value gap. It just basically says usually what we see is candles are going to overlap. And we're always within a range of value and then premium and then discount. So at the top, you're at a premium price. At the bottom, you're at a discount. And somewhere in the middle, somewhere in between that, you're at an understood price that everybody agrees with. So once you have a skip, right, it shows that the sellers are in control. So if I move it out of the way here, we can tell with this massive candle here, people were not agreeing with the price at the top for many reasons, right? We might not have been able to find any buyers that are willing to pay this premium price near the top of the range. So the market maker or the algorithm needs to go find willing buyers. And the willing buyers for this candle, this 15-minute candle, they were down here. Right? They weren't willing to pay this price over here. So the price went all the way down. Then it started moving up. But once this third candle closes, and it closed over here, there's a gap between the first and the third candle. And that's what we call a fair value gap. And it usually shows who's in control. Bigger fair value gaps are stronger than really small fair value gaps. And the higher time frame fair value gaps are stronger than shorter time frame fair value gaps. So if I go on a 4-hour here, right, and I'll reprint them, and that's why I love this thing. You don't have to print them yourself. On the 4-hour, look at over here. This was a massive fair value gap over here. So this showed that the buyers were absolutely in control during this day. And then we came back down and we could not close a candle to take out this fair value gap. So it shows that there's a very high level of support in this area. So what I like to do is I like to draw this rectangle here and extend it right. It is possible in here to extend right, I believe, somewhere in here. Visibility, style. Am I just missing it? Extend, yeah. So extend over here. You can extend it more bars, right? I thought you could extend it all the way right. But larger time frame, stronger support area because this one's green. And, you know, we can see that we're printing fair value gaps on the way up. So we're bullish over here. But now on the 4-hour, we've printed a red one. So who's in control over the last higher time frame here over the last little while? The sellers are in control, right? So that's about it. I like having them on my time frame. They help tremendously for my strategy of trading the 50% retracement. So in a break and retest, you basically want to know who's in charge. Look at this tiny sliver of a fair value gap. I do not consider this a strong fair value gap. I do not consider this that the sellers are absolutely in control here. Turns out that they were, right? We were selling. Same with this one, right? We're selling. But over here, we've got a 5-minute fair value gap here. This could be an area of support. That's where it touched. That's where it is right now. Right. So depending on your strategy, this might be an area to buy for the possibility of it going long. Hope that answers your question, Evo. Sorry for being.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I wanted to pick your brain.
Yeah, I like explaining in a lot of details. So, and if anybody has anything to add to my explanation, or if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate. But we'll have to do it tomorrow. What is the indicator which prints the fair value gap for you? It's right here. Lux Algo fair value gap, right there. So if you go in here, where is it? I can't see it on here. Fair value gap right there. Right. So this is almost always on my chart now. And it's something that I've been using I was printing them myself, but then found this one. Lux Algo is fantastic. They've got some great indicators. And for this one, it just does it automatically. So it just prints whatever time frame you're on, right? 5-minute, which is what I usually like to trade. So I don't know, what was I on there? Was it the 1 minute, or I don't remember what time frame I was on, that it was on really, really tiny fair value gap. But this on the 5-minute is what I like to see to draw my fibs. So we're selling here.
Would you please share your screen?
Sorry?
Would you please share your screen?
I am sharing my screen.
I cannot see your screen.
Yeah. Can somebody else confirm that my screen is being shared?
Yeah, it's shared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, and this will be in the video that's going to be uploaded to YouTube. So and I'll be back tomorrow, and I can answer other questions on fair value gap or whatever else. But MNQ started selling. I can tell with this fair value gap. Started buying over here. Where did it retrace to? Golden Zone. Can you sell from there? Absolutely. Short from there. Stop above the 6150. This candle right here would have taken me out if it was a limit order. But if you do it on, let's say, a 2-minute, right? This one right over here, it shows, and it printed another tiny little 2-minute fair value gap, but that could have been the entry. Would have stopped above the wick. Conservative stop way above here. And you aim for whatever, 3R. So 3R is right here with that very conservative stop. I usually aim for the 61.8. So right now we're at 4.5. Aggressive stop above the wick of the entry candle right here. Let me just move this over. Aggressive stop. We're right now at 6.3R. And so that's why the fair value gaps on the 5-minute are absolutely part of my strategy. Okay, so thanks for the questions. Thanks for being there, everyone. The room remains open. If you guys are going to continue sharing, please do. And I'll be back tomorrow. And it will not be a holiday, so I will likely be trading. All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks for sharing. See you, Evo.
Thanks, Joe. Great seeing you.
Great seeing
Thank you.
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Tony. Everyone else that's in the room. Cheers.